Hallelujah to the only true and wise King, Master Creator, Omnipotent Redeemer, Divine Creator of all, Master Eternal, Maker and Creator of all things living and none, the Master who created all things. Hallelujah to the King of Glory. We worship the only true and wise King. We acknowledge the only true and wise Master. Hallelujah. There's none beside him. And he gives all the praise. He gives all the glory. Hallelujah. No glory goes to man, but all glory goes to the Most High, who triumphs in every situation. Hallelujah to the King of Glory. I'm just going to say I'm so thankful for you guys. I missed you. Did you miss me? I know you did, because I missed you, and that's how I could tell. I missed you more than you missed me. I want to give praise to the Most High. I want to thank the Creator for Son Tobiah. He is healed. He is healed. He's the delivered. He's the saved. And the Most High, he belongs to him. Hallelujah. I know you all want it. He belongs to us all. I know he's the master of all. I just want to shout out to my babies before we get started. I'm sorry, so we got to talking because we haven't seen each other in a long time. So I just had to catch up just a little bit with Son Tobiah, just a little bit. Today, family, is going to be something that we're going to go back over, which is something we spoke about last year, and we're just going to go back over a few things. Well, more than a year now, but we're going to go back over a few things just to reiterate and put it down into our spirit and our hearts. We know that the Father has, it's our relationship with the Most High, and we know it all depends on him. Whatever he says, we say amen. Every time he says something, we say so be it. We agree with the Master. Hallelujah. And so the reason why we're going over some things today is because while we're in these bodies, you don't have to suffer, as you know, you don't have to give all suffering to this body as long as we live in this, because the Father's given us all things pertaining to life and godliness. Amen. Shout outs to my babies in Ohio. Your EMA think you are some wonderful. Also in Mississippi, I missed you guys. Mississippi, yes. All my babies around in Jamaica, Puerto Rico, all outside of the U.S. and inside the U.S. Your EMA thinks you're so wonderful. And I praise God for you too, my Yah. He's all sufficient in every situation. Today we're going to talk about something. Oh, now we'll talk about this at the end of the class, and we're going to talk about how one thing that I wanted to tell you all. I'm sorry I couldn't get back with you because something happened to my phone. I couldn't get in there to the emails. It locked me out. So
somebody was saying that I think Hey World, the person I told you left a comment about the last video, was saying that they were trying to get a hold of you for herbs and recommendations for different herbal medications.
It locked. Okay, Tobiah's gonna get it to up for me. It locked me out for some reason, and to some extent I couldn't. I was telling Son Tobiah I couldn't get into Brother Jacob or anything like that. But it's all good because guess what? We're gonna answer a lot, and when I get back in there, I'm going to make up for that which the enemy tried to tamper with. So, family, today, tell my babies, EMA Barb is well and live, and we are live. You all come on into our class. Let's put a thumbs up. I love you guys. Mwah. Your EMA thinks you're wonderful. Thumbs up. Hallelujah. To those who have not subscribed, come on in and subscribe so that you all can. They told me, hey family, they told me that when you subscribe, that whenever we come on board online, you all come online too. I'm trying to be technically savvy. I'm trying to get there. So you all bear with me while I try to get there. And the next thing is tell my babies, their EMA. I know they're probably doing classes at home, but tell them copy thumbs up. Save this for next time for my babies that are out there, that they wait for me, and tell them that just save it, and so you can remind your mommy and daddy. Now, today, I kept a lot of these things up from the last time, family. Make sure you do a snapshot of this board, because we're going to talk a lot about some of the things that we didn't do that we talked about the last time. And these things have to do with a lot of keeping the colon clean, keeping alkaline. As long as your body is alkaline, family, it will help fight off a lot of the bacteria, viruses, diseasement. And before I get started, one of the things that I want to tell you guys too is don't forget to fast during this time of your quarantine. During this time of quarantine, I want to make sure that you guys fast. And because, let me tell you, some of the reason why I say I want you all to fast from time to time, because it helps your digestive system to clean itself. I know Brother Levi Raphael always talks about fasting and 1 meal a day. And the reason I want to shout out to Brother Levi Raphael, I want to shout out to my brother and friend, Brother Jacob and Brother Daniel, and your Ishas. I love sister support. Shout out to my unidentified Hebrews and my identified Shebrew. They make me cry. I love you. But the reason why, and all my other babies, you all know, for some of you all that are just now coming in, I'm EMA Bar, and it's the Health Corner, and this is just tailored for my family. My family, you are omnipotently and wonderfully created by the Master himself. And we want to do some tweaks, and because of that, we want to tweak up our digestive systems. So how we tweak our digestive systems, and you already know this, with the vinegar, you're going to do your apple cider vinegar and your cayenne pepper tea. You making sure you're doing your baking soda. You make sure you do your baking soda. And for some that are outside the U.S., some of my friends that I know for sure do their lime and baking soda in the mornings. And it helps alkaline the body, keeps the body moving. And remember, exercise, family, exercise. If it means getting up on your trampoline, remember look at some of the other YouTubes prior, and we did our trampoline, and we got everything going early in the morning. And when we got up in the morning, we breathed. Don't forget your breathing. All these things are to keep you with a healthy immune system. Your immune system has to be healthy in order to fight out any bacteria. And one way began or to continue in, and that's gut health, digestive health. You want to make sure you're eating the proper foods. Get rid of the processed foods, because they have a lot of traps and snares. So the scriptures talk about the traps and snares. Well, when I think of traps and snares, a lot of times I think of a lot of the processed foods are full with traps and snares. They don't have the enzymes in them. They're empty calories. They're in for toxins. And they bound up in toxins, and which sabotages our gut. I need you all to remember that. And to eat healthy foods. We're going to talk about some of the alkaline foods today. We're going to talk about some of the bacteria foods that kill bacteria, viruses, and things like that. Now, you already know, if you looked at and you've been with me for some time, you know I'm going to talk about baking soda, of course. You're going to know I'm going to talk about soursop. You know I'm going to talk about peaches and watercress. By the way, those that want to send me a crate of watercress, you have that liberty. I love you too much. And for those who love parsley, parsley is one of those things that alkaline the body, and limes will alkaline your body. Now, let me tell you this. We started off talking about fasting. Now, I made a jar from my clothes. Those at night, now don't forget, at night, your baking soda to alkaline the body and keep it alkaline. Now, young people, you can do in the morning when you first get up, and this is something really simple and really easy. You know I love pineapples. Pineapples are one of those alkaline foods. And with the alkaline foods, with your pineapples, you can do, and I was telling one of my babies just this morning, shout out to my baby in St. Louis and in Toledo. I love you guys. And so listen to this. You could take celery, and it's an alkaline. And you could take celery, add an apple, juice them, a celery, an apple, and for those who say, EMA, beets. I can't get with the beets. I cannot get with the beets. I'm good. I can. But guess what? Add a little a piece of beet in there, and it'll alkaline the body really quickly, and it's really good because you can't really taste it because with the apples in there, it masks. The apple will mask the beet taste, and plus it'll give you an energy, and it brings oxygen. Did you know celery brings oxygen to the whole body? Celery would do that. It's one of those wonderful things. And remember, we talked about another thing. You can juice it, and you can drink it up and drink it right down. For those who don't like to eat the pulp or drink the pulp, just strain it and use the pulp for something different. You can saute it, add little onions to it, and saute it, put a little salt, a little pepper, Himalayan salt, of course, a little bit of pepper, and you can saute it with onions and all that, and mix it in, and you could have a nice little spray it over your salad. You don't have to saute it. You can just put the pulp over your salad, and you'll be amazed at the flavor that comes with your spinach. With your spinach over your salads, and it's wonderful. And put your little salad dressing. You know what I'm going to say? Vinegar and your vinegar and apple cider vinegar in there, and maybe a pinch of lime. Now what really does the alkaline, it brings oxygen when you do your whole lime, your whole lemon, and that brings the alkaline and it brings oxygen into the body. So you want to do that. Of course, you know I already had my alkaline this morning because that's why I'm talking so fast to get so much in. And so in case somebody say, Ema, you didn't tell us what you're drinking today. Well, guess what? Today, Tobiah and I are having we've had a little burdock in here, good for the liver, good for the kidneys. I love burdock. Burdock! Yes. A little bit of cinnamon. And we had the audacity to put some goji. I didn't grind it really well, but you know, goji is really good for the body and gives energy, and it helps cleanse everything out. Everything that we're drinking today with our little cinnamon and burdock today. And shout out to my Naomi, your Ema thinks you're wonderful, for the burdock. And we put all of that in our tea this morning, in our cup this morning, with coconut milk. Naomi, I almost tried to make it in a little bit of maca. Now, and you know all these things are alkaline, and plus it detoxifies the body. As you already know, the burdock is a good detoxifier for the liver and the kidneys. So it's really, really wonderful for you this morning. So we decided to add a little bit of energy that we need for our bodies today, along with the cinnamon. And you know, we go by Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon is an alkaline, and realize that it's an alkaline, and we decided to put a little bit of that in there, which gives us that energy and that boost that we're needing. We don't need caffeine. We don't need the coffee, family, because it's going to block a lot of areas in our body. So we can do better than that. And it's much better. And then plus, unless you're going to get the pure and grind it yourself and right on down the line, but still, as females this time, our bodies, family, as with the melanin that we already have in our bodies, we don't really need a lot of it. Story for another time. We're going to go over that, but we've talked about that already. But one of the things I want to tell you all, make sure you got some vitamin D in you. Vitamin D kills bacteria. It's going to alkaline your body, your vitamin D. Now let's go about some things we're going to do as far as fasting. Family, in times of preparation for fasting, remember we talked a while back about chickweed. Chickweed, and when you put a little bit of if you're going to use an extract, what you do, remember we're going to get away from the toxic processed foods. And we're going to begin to add more alkaline foods to our body, and we're going to fight out those bacteria and those germs. So let's do this. In order to start, we're going to start and say, some people can't start all of it sudden and just fasting a day or fasting 2 days or fasting 3 days. But our main primary goal is to clean the colon and fast, because when you're fasting, if you have ever fasted before, you know you had more energy when you were fasting. And that's because the body was able to breathe. All those walls that's been corroded with the processed foods are no longer there. And your body is able to get to that maximum potential. And it also makes you look younger. How about that? Story for another time. We're going to go on that too. But family, take your celery and, let's go with this one. Have you ever had spinach and take your spinach, baby spinach, and you're going to juice it with about a handful of broccoli? You said, EMA, broccoli and spinach? Yes. Trust me. And then put an apple in there and juice it. Now again, you don't have to do the pulp, you can strain it. And when you juice it, that's an alkaline, family. Today I just want to get to the point where you can do these juices and then you can lead toward alkalining your body or fasting. Remember chickweed? You can do a little bit of chickweed. If you do the extract, do a little bit of chickweed in it, and it detoxifies the body, and plus it curbs your appetite. What? Yes, it'll curb the appetite a little bit. And therefore you won't want the desire for food because your body's satisfied. And it'll help you to get to the point whereby you no longer want to chew, you just want to drink a little bit. And you can do that during the day. Don't forget your lemon and limes, put in the water, lemon and lime, whole lemon. During the day, you're going to be able to consume a whole lemon with distilled water. And during that day, and it helps get rid of the unwanted extra water in the body, so it flushes your body out and it prepares you for fasting. How about that? The next thing I was going to tell you was you could take a cucumber, family, and with that cucumber, and the reason why I'm going to talk into a personal thing. One of our family members called the other day and said, Tia, I'm having issues with going, and this is personal, but I'm sharing with you because you all are family. But I need to go to the potty. I'm having issues going to the bathroom. They've given me stuff, and it's just doing this and doing that, adverse effects after adverse effects. And so my thing is, the reason why I wanted to talk to you all, know every time when I get on this, I have a lot of people that tell me, EMA, we're having issues going to the bathroom, or we having this. Get off the processed foods. Let me tell you this too. A lot of and I know I'm going to talk to the meat people who love meat. And the reason why I'm being so cautious with this, because I have a meat eater in my house. I'm not naming any names. I have a meat eater in my house. So, once you get off of some of the meat, you are going to feel so much better. I have a lot of people that let me know that say, Emma, once I kind of got rid of the meat, I'm feeling so much energy. I'm feeling so much better. And it cleanses the walls of your colon or your digestive system. And it just goes right, and it brings more oxygen to the body. So getting rid of processed foods and a lot of meats will actually give you oxygen. And it opens up the oxygen levels in your body, and so that you're allowed to alkaline much better. But we're talking about that in another time. Family, let me tell you this. I was telling you about the cucumbers. So you can take a cucumber, again, an apple, which is your alkaline, and you could take and put about 4 cups of water in, and you can blend it in. And if you're like some people in our home love a little bit, just a little taste of sweet, you can put a little bit of agave in there, and it tastes wonderful. That's one of the things you can do as far as alkalining the body. Family, another thing that I want to tell you all about, do you know pineapples? I started off talking about pineapples. Pineapples are something wonderful. And so, sorry to talk so fast, but you can cut up your pineapple and blend it in, and you can save this. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you can take that pineapple and put it in a blender, or you can juice it. Either way, whichever you have, if you have one or the other, that's perfect. And take about this much of a ginger, this much piece of ginger. See that much? And ginger. And when you take that much of ginger and juice it in with the pineapple, oh, something wonderful. And you could add a little bit of coconut milk or almond milk, which is wonderful for the body, and mix it in and put some ice, about six ice cubes in there. And talking about something wonderful, alkalining the body and also cleansing the colon, giving your colon, your digestive system something to fight with. Those are alkalining foods. And you can put in that, you know, women, when we were coming up as kids, we used to, I remember my grandmother was telling someone in our family, I don't remember which one it was, but she was telling her she was having issues with pregnancy, and how when she gets up in the morning she had issues with morning sickness and stuff like that. So my grandmother would do this on purpose. She would make her, and I'm trying to still remember who it was, but she would juice up a pineapple, tell her, bring the pineapple to my house, bring it over. And she would take ginger and juice the ginger with the pineapple and add some kind of milk or whatever it was with it, but she would add milk to it and make her slushy in the morning. And it would get rid of the, and she would keep it during the day, and it would get rid of the morning sickness. Plus, when the baby came, it was so much easier because she had issues because of the pregnancy and with going to the bathroom and right on down the line. But it alkalined, and the baby, I mean, it was wonderful. That's all I remember as a young person. And I remember she said the pregnancy was so easy that she didn't have the morning sickness anymore, and she had this and that. But anyway, and you can add a little bit of baby spinach. Now there's something that, my little secret from time to time, we're not going to tell the person that lives in my home with me about, it's sweet potato leaves. Baby, you say, EMA, oh, you eat some weird stuff. Don't knock it. Sweet potato leaves, it has more nutrients than the sweet potato itself, if you can imagine. And you can put it in the freezer, chop up, sometimes I chop it up really well in the spinach and in the broccoli, and I saute it with onions and green peppers. Yes, and a little bit of okra. Now, do you know, and it tastes wonderful, and put it over your, like what we had the other day. We had made some zucchini spaghetti. Just use sweet potato peeler, clean off your zucchini. After you clean your zucchini off, and then cut the ends off, and you can take your potato peeler and go a little bit at a time, making your spaghetti peeler, your potato peeler, it'll look like spaghetti, and it doesn't take time, just a couple minutes, and some coconut oil, saute it a little softly, and pour that's your spaghetti, and you can pour that over the spaghetti. I mean, it is wonderful. Just a little bit of hints of what we eat from time to time. It keeps the colon clean and right on down the line, and it fights all of these different herbs and spices fight viral bacteria, family. It fights them, and when you're sauteing the zucchini, what it's doing, it opens up the enzymes. It opens up so that it's able to fight for you. And remember, onions, garlic. One of the things that I do, and here I'm telling you all my secrets again, but all these things that I was telling you guys, these things help fight bacteria. They help fight bacteria. They're the enzymes. They are not just the enzymes, but they're the enzymes that the body really needs, and they alkaline the body. I miss you all so much. There's so much I want to tell you all, but I'm trying to say it a little bit at a time, and then I'll say how much vitamins the zucchini has. I'll tell you how many herbs and everything. Oh, did you know zucchini is high in vitamin C? Come to say that, high in vitamin C. And mix with onions and garlic. Remember, during this time of the year, family, you're gonna need those onions for the allergies. And it also alkaline. From time to time, I'll take a garlic and mix it in. Now here, listen, I'm not an alcoholic. Don't get this twisted. But I was telling my baby in Ohio about what I do with garlic, and right on that question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
One of our chat members, long time, Grace Faye.
Hi, Grace.
She says, I have been getting very bad heartburn recently. I have been trying to keep away from flour products like pastries. What can I do to
You know what? You can do the apple cider vinegar. Don't forget the apple cider vinegar for the heartburn. The next thing is you want to eat before 5 o'clock. Make sure before 6 o'clock. Before 6 o'clock, you won't have too much heartburn. Baking soda is another thing that helps with heartburn. Very well. Everyone knows about the baking soda, love, and thank you for chatting in the class. I love you too much. And you can do the baking soda. You can do the apple cider vinegar when it comes on. You make sure that when you're doing, you could even take, okay. I'm gonna take the cloves out of my mouth in a minute. Give me a minute. But you can do that. You would drink celery, get 2 stalks of celery. And this is just to alkaline the body, and it helps go down the esophagus, and it heals, because remember we said parsley. You could use celery and, well, before I do the celery, let me tell you about the cucumbers, parsley, and lemon. Make that little water up. Remember, the more alkaline your body is, the more it heals itself. So you could take the parsley, get your parsley, chop it up about a handful, put it in distilled water, cut you up a cucumber, and do the cucumber. And when you do the cucumber, cut the cucumber up, and then put lemon in there. Remember, lemon or lime. I normally like lime, and I mix it up sometimes. A lot of times I'll do lemon, sometimes I do lime, sometimes I do both. And put the lime in there. And it will go through the system and alkaline the body, and you won't have that issue, because the more you drink it, because the lime and the citrus, or the citrus acid, which is good when it goes into the body. It's a cleanser, and it helps that way. So 3 things. You have apple cider vinegar, which is awesome. Don't forget your apple cider tea in the morning, which some people say it makes worse, but the cayenne pepper tea, the vinegar in the morning with a little bit of honey. Don't forget, you can do the parsley. Parsley really works really wonderful on that acid reflux. It helps with that because it goes through. And remember, when you're eating, you are right to not to eat processed foods, fam. You're right to eat it, because what it does, it causes acid build up in the body. And you're trying to get rid of that. So you can do that. So do those waters, like I said again, the cucumber, celery, and lime, or lemon. And put that in there, and you can drink that, because that's an alkaliner, and it helps with that. So excellent job. Stay away from the flour, stay away from the processed foods. Yes, you got it. All praise to the Most High. So green vegetables, leafy green vegetables are your friends. Leafy green vegetables are your friends. They are there to heal. When you're doing your spinach, when you're juicing your spinach, fam, don't forget to leave the stem, a lot of the stem in it, because your stems are going to the leaf itself.
She said, yes, I noticed when I eat crackers, biscuits, they give you heartburn really bad from UK.
Yes. Yes, they do. Because it's there to block any antihistamine. It blocks all the nutrients from coming into your body. So it's like a glue. Remember, we talked about in one of the other episodes how white flour, they use white flour to put wallpaper on, and it stays for years. On the wall, when they use white flour to put in your wallpaper, and it stayed there. Well, that's the same thing you want to get out of your colon, out of your body. You want to get all that out. And so when you do that, you're getting rid of that, and you're pushing it out of your body, and your body don't want it anyway. So it's going to help you. The green leafy vegetables are going to help you a lot during this time.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What would be a good white flour replacement? What would you make biscuits out of to replace the white flour biscuits?
Actually, the biscuits, let me tell you about the biscuits. It's a long history about how they did the biscuits and what that was all about. It really wasn't for us. If you really think of it, white biscuits, those were used to block, and they gave them to the animals to keep the animals full. It gave, especially the swine, and when they didn't have a lot of, you can go back in history and find this out, when they didn't have a lot of food to give them, they would give them bake the biscuits and make them rise, and they'd give them to the swines and stuff like that. That really wasn't made for us.
Right.
But when they gave it to us, we just did what we could to utilize what we were given during that time. A lot of times, fam, what I'll do if I want like if I'm making flatbread, I was telling one of my babies this morning, shout out to my babies, and I was telling my babies this morning that I normally I sift, and you remember years ago how your grandmothers used to sift flour and they would make it as light as possible? Well, you can get the real fine bean flour, like a bonzo flour. You can get almond flour. You can get coconut flour. But make sure you get the real fine one. It's not gluten. It's the glutens that affect our esophagus, that bring us acid reflux. A lot of times it'll do that. It'll bring the acid reflux. And that's what the white flour does to our bodies. And so you can do the garbanzo bean flour or teff. It's called TEFF, Frank. TEFF. It's teff, and that's the kind of flour that they use in Egypt and other places. And they just use that, and it's like flat, and it's the most healthiest grain. It's a grain. I ordered some, FYI. I ordered some, but it never did come in, so I'm still waiting. I'm going to go back over them again, and it's been over a month since I ordered it, and it was for a 5-pound bag. But anyway, teff is one of the grains that is most healthy for you. It's just like moringa. Moringa is one of those superfoods. That's what I gave you.
Moringa. It was really sweet.
Really sweet. And moringa is one of those green where it has a lot of nutrients, green goodies. I call them goodies. And it's really wonderful for the body. And so teff is one of those really good grains that once you prepare it, it gives you that floury taste that your mind is looking for, but it helps the body as a whole. But back to the garbanzo bean flour, you can make it really, really flat and then take a little bit, and you say, EMA, here you go. But you can grind the flaxseed to the powder and mix it in where it'll become the consistency of an egg. So you don't really need the animal egg. You can go and make the flaxseed powder, and then when you mix it in with a certain kind of consistency with water, and it'll look like egg, and it'll give you that substance that you're looking for. And then add coconut oil or olive oil and mix it in that way, and then you can make your flour that way, and then make it really flat. And it will not rise, plus it's all bean, it's all plant-based, and it goes to the body, so it'll help you that way. Question?
Yes, ma'am. Truth Seeker. One of our chat members haven't seen a while. Her family members haven't seen a while. Has a question.
Okay.
And he asks.
Yes.
Or she.
Yes.
Says, what can be done to get rid of hemorrhoids that keep reoccurring and a lump that won't go away?
Okay. Family, look at this.
And let me spell this out to make sure I'm saying this correctly, that it is hemorrhoids. HEMORRHOIDS. It is hemorrhoids.
Okay, family, remember the fiber? We're all about fiber. We're all about alkaline. We want to make sure that, remember all the fiber, and with the fiber such as flaxseed, chick seeds, you know, the chia seeds, that helps. Flaxseed, where you can take, I think one day I brought in, if you all look back at one of the other classes, I brought some chia seeds, and I put in distilled water, and we were drinking the chia seeds. You don't need a lot. You don't need a whole lot. And so what you can do is when you do the chia seeds, put maybe a teaspoon in for 8 ounces. Not even that much. And then what you can do is shake it up. And when it gets to that mucousy type of it, then continue to drink it. It gives you that full feeling. It's all it is it's just like what they did, the Metamucil. This is natural. And drink that, and it softens and it helps the hemorrhoids in the back. It helps, it aids. And then you could do that. And then okra, for those who, and I imagine you might have little issues with a little bit of diabetes perhaps. Do the okra, remember we talked about cutting the cap off of the okra and the bottom and put it in a jar of distilled water that sits when you're ready to drink your water. You can drink that along with the parsley, put it in a separate, cut the ends off, make sure you have a little bit more of the stem in it, and you can cut that off. And when you cut it off, you opening the, starting the process of going into the water. So you're drinking the okra water and you're chasing it with parsley. What it's getting rid of the heavy metals, detoxifying from heavy metals, and it's pushing all that out of the whole body and it going out. So that helps the hemorrhoids, and it's a lot easier, and it helps diabetes as well, or cholesterol, which is extra cholesterol. We need a certain amount of cholesterol in our bodies. But for the brain, you come on, talk my talk. You need it for the brain and all of that. So when they try to tell you cholesterol, now unless you're doing the unhealthy cholesterol, you don't need that part. But you need the healthy cholesterol for the brain, and that helps function. So you're going to do that, family. So you want to make sure you can do that. Or what we started to say, the flaxseed. If you powder your flaxseed or powdered or ground flaxseed, you can put it over your salads, over your foods, and that helps push some of the toxins out. And it also helps the renal part of the body, because it's softening the stool so much that you won't have that issue, and your body's allowed to recontract back to its normal size. Those are just a few things, and then I'll be coming back with you once the son Tobias get my fix my things so I can get back with you all on adding information back to my Gmail. And once I can get back into my Gmail, I'll putting more information on there about the hemorrhoids. So look forward to that on the post, because I've been putting a post on in another area, but I wasn't. But anyway, story for another time. I did a kind of in my way of trying to get information to you guys, I put a lot of information on my last post. So if you all look at some of my last posts, and you'll see where I put more information in there for you. So I did that. So I'm sorry about that. But those are just a few things. Remember, fiber. But the more fiber, it helps actually heal the renal part for the hemorrhoids, actually. So you can do it that way, fam, but it also healing. Another thing, and then I won't be so, because I know we have other children online, so, and listening. So look for those posts about the hemorrhoids and where we can do more from the outside in, okay? I love you too much. Thank you for the question. And also, don't forget your peppermint. Add peppermint. This is the time of the year where you can add, we grow peppermint in our backyard. But if you can get some dried peppermint leaves, or get some peppermint, or spearmint leaves. Funny story, real quickly. There was a year ago or 2 years ago, I had my peppermint, spearmint, and different mints, chocolate mint, and all that growing in the backyard. So the children, there was two little kids, a little bit under the age of 5. It must have been about 2 and 3. They were walking with their parents down the street. So they were saying, I was like, oh, hi, and I gave them a little, I said, I'm always going to be your EMA. Your mama, auntie, grandma. That's who I am to you. Mama, auntie, grandma. I'll always be that pot for you. And so I gave them some mint, and they were like, what is this? I said, mint. He said, the father was walking with his wife and his children. He said, this smells like gum. He said, I never smelled this outside. It smells like gum. I said, this is what they're supposed to be making gum out of.
Make gum, just spearmint.
Spearmint gum. He said, what? I didn't know it grew. I'm like, okay. This is before I got coming to the class there. And I thought, oh my, that was one of the things that the Father allowed me to come on and tell you all. These things do grow. And these are herbs and plants that do grow. But we had some in the backyard, and what I did was time to time when the people would pass through and it would be hot, I would make some spearmint lemon tea. Check this out. And add a little mint to it. And they were like walking down, I would see them, I would share, because Mr. works outside in the summertime a lot. And along with hibiscus tea and stuff like that, I would make different teas to keep them hydrated and keep them alkaline at the same time. So they would walk by, and the little girl would look at my window. She was hesitant for a long time, but every time they would walk through, she would say, and she would point to me. And when she would point to me, she would want some lemon, peppermint, and spearmint tea. And I would bring some out. She would walk to the store and walk back, and she had it. But those are some hints, family. Now, you can do that during the winter, during the summer for your family. And it's good for the hemorrhoids, it's good for the digestion, and it's good for the body. So those are alkaline: mint, spearmint, and lemon. You can do that as a tea or as a cold drink during this time of the year. Blessings. Thank you for the questions. Keep the questions coming. Yes, love.
We got Latanya. Latanya is right. She has a question.
Blessings.
She says, I need help with lupus. L-U-P-U-S.
With lupus?
It was L-U-P-U-S. Yes, she says lupus.
With lupus.
She says, I need help with lupus. What can I do?
That's an autoimmune system situation. Okay. First of all, I want you to look. I'm going to be posting some things about lupus, but one of the things you want to make sure you do for the lupus family, you want to make sure your autoimmune system is coming back up. Heighten your autoimmune system. A lot of ways you want to do that is keep the toxins out of your mouth. And please forgive me if I'm sounding kind of rough, but keep the processed foods out of your mouth. You want to try not to eat as much, I say as much meat. With lupus, you don't eat. Please don't do the meat, because don't do the meat. Don't do any meat products, cheese, butter, cow's milk, things like that. You don't want that in your body. You want to do all natural as possible, family. You want to make sure that you keep your body alkaline. And those are some things you can start off with. Keeping a clean digestion, a colon cleanse, fast from time to time if you can. And then I'm going to be posting some other things. Look for the post, because I'm going to add a whole plethora of things in there for you because of your autoimmune system. Make sure that when you get up in the morning, first thing that you start off doing is making sure you can, if you can tolerate, do your cayenne pepper tea. Do your lemon water during the day. Do things like, listen, turmeric, ginger, a little lemon or lime in the morning, and do put some peppercorn, throw some in there in your mouth, just about from a handful, that much in your hand, in the middle of the hand, and throw peppercorn down there to use as a catalyst for your cumin, for your turmeric. When you do that, do like a little bit of cumin. Cumin, you want to take powdered cumin, and you can add whatever kind of sweetener that you want with that. You can, but don't do sugar. Do your, if you want molasses. As a matter of fact, I gotta go today and get some more molasses. Anyway, get some molasses, but don't use a lot, just enough to sweeten, and make it like a paste, and take that like you taking medicine. And then another thing that is wonderful for lupus is you want to take your black seed oil. Do black seed oil. Black seed is wonderful. And keep the black seeds in the house, so when you go to eat salads and different foods like that, you want to sprinkle your black seeds in your food. That keeps your autoimmune system going. When you try to eat as less sugar as possible, acclimate your body unless it's like a little bit of molasses. When you're doing a lot of this is to keep your autoimmune system. Do a lot of cucumbers. Apricots are good for the autoimmune, for your lupus. It helps. When you get an opportunity, it's called white willow bark, which is what it does. Helps with pain for the muscles and the tension in your body. That helps. If you can do those type of things. There's another than what I wanted to. You can do a little bit of elderberry. Make sure you can do the elderberries. That keeps helping with that, and that helps. The black corn pepper is good because it helps subtly with pain and muscle joints and muscle pain. The white willow bark is another pain reliever. Arnica would help as it detoxes and pulls that stuff out and build your immune system and helps with your muscles. Arnica, if you could get it, it'll come as pellets, little bitty pellets. If you go to Vitamin Shop, they have the little bitty pellets for, and I don't sponsor any particular labels or any type of people, but this the little pellets. They're by it's BOIRA by Bora. And they're little pellets. You can get them for under $7, and they're only put 6 underneath your tongue. And what it does, Arnica is one of those pain relievers. Plus, it helps with the muscles and the joints. They use it a lot outside of the U.S. and Mexico and places like that. They use that for a pain reliever. You can use bay leaves from time to time. Do some bay leaves. Bay leaf tea is something good that helps your immune system, plus it also gets rid of the toxins out of your system that it's going to shed. It's going to help your autoimmune system. You can drink a little bit of that. Only do 1 leaf and a pot and a little bit of with 2 cups, and just so that you could sweeten it as when you want, and put a little lime in there. You can do that. Don't forget the baking soda and the limes are good for that as well, because it detoxes. These things detox the body, and it strengthens the immune system, and plus it alkalines the immune system, and it gives you that, and it pushes the toxins out, and it strengthens the muscles and all that's on the inside. Okay, you had another question.
Yes, ma'am. We have another family member in the live chat by the name of Infinity Misconception.
Bless you, babe.
She asks, EMA,
Yes.
can you advise about treatment for hidradenitis suppurativa? That's kind of hard for me to pronounce. I'm spell this one out. It says HIDRADENITIS. Then it says suppurative, SUPPRATEVIA. You might want to look at this.
Okay, spell it again. And then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spell it in champ family, so don't be mad at me if I mispronounce a word or misspell.
Okay, spell it for me again.
All right.
HY. I know that's hydro.
Let's see, the first word was H. I'm sorry, I'm losing my place here. Let me scroll back. Okay, HID.
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 RAD.
RAD.
EN. ITIS. First word. Second word is SUPPRATEVIA.
DIA. She might be, it might be HY. She said HI.
It could be a Y, right?
It might be a Y.
It looks like hydradenitis, but the second word, I can't pronounce it, but.
Suprinda. Okay.
Okay.
Tell her what I'm gonna do. When I get home, I'm gonna send a post when Mr.
Okay, you send me a post, and I'll post it back to you tonight.
Yeah.
And this will be directed towards her and anybody else that has a similar question or issue. Okay.
Yes. Because it sounds like hyperdemeology or hypodemus suppressor. So tell her that's what I'm going to do when I get home. And I'll put it in there so she can get it. So look for it as soon as I get it.
Okay, I just scrolled down, she made another comment.
Yeah.
She said, it says oils like underneath the arm.
Okay, yeah. That hydrodeniatus, yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
That's what I see. Okay, that's what I thought she was trying to spell. So what you need to do, baby, for number one is get off the deodorant. That deodorant is packed with aluminum. So that aluminum, once it's trapped, and what it is the trap underneath the skin. And what it does, it's trapped underneath the skin a lot of toxins or waste that have been under there. And I bet actually it's painful. Because when she asked her, is it painful?
Is it painful?
Is it painful?
Okay.
Because underneath the arm, that's what it sounds like it is, and that toxins is trapped underneath the arms with nowhere to go. And it's trying to come through the skin. And so what she wants to do is she can do two of three things. Well, and then I'll send some other things to her so that she can do it on the post as well. But one of the things she needs to do.
Okay, she said, I'm sorry, you mind me to.
Go ahead.
She said very painful
And what?
And it thighs or thrives.
It thrives.
THIGHS. That looks like thighs. She might have been.
Throbs.
Throbs, right? That's what I think.
Probably throbs. It throbs. And it's like painful underneath there. So the first thing to do, tell her to get away from the deodorant because of the toxins. And it's causing those areas to be full with toxins. And those underneath your arms, believe it, those are your lymphatic system underneath the arms. And because the lymphatic thing, it sounds like it's trapped under there. And so actually, did the doctor say that they need to go in and open them up? Or has she been there? It's probably so. So tell her no more deodorant. And so one of the things that she wants to do is water. Alkaline the body. And so underneath, if you'll remember, one of the things that we talked about is, I was telling about anise. And tell her in the post, look for some things because I'm going to go in and put a lot of things under the post under that as well. But one of the things that she could start off doing in the post, remember we talked about anise, ANISE. And with the anise is a natural, you can get it as it's something like, it tastes almost like, or put in your mind, of licorice. And it smells like licorice, but it's anise. And so it's a natural cleanser. So what you can do is take the anise and put it in a, like you're going to clean underneath your arms, and you're going to clean that with anise every day. Take a little baking soda and a little bit of baking soda and a little bit of vinegar. And you're going to put a little bit of anise, just not even a capful, in the water, because this is very strong. When you do it this way, it's going to alkaline the area, plus it's going to, the baking soda and vinegar is going to help take care of the pain, and it's going to cleanse it. It's going to dry it out. So you're going to clean that out. So whenever you smell the different fragrance to it, or a different odor, you might say, clean it with that. And to keep it soft, you're going to use aloe vera juice or gel. I prefer the juice itself. And get the juice, and it's going to keep it clean, and it's going to pull out the toxins all at one time. And it's the lymphatic system. Because it's part of the lymphatic system, you want to continue to use alkaline. I know we always say, even on Brother Jacob's channel, he always says alkaline, which is exactly right. We want to make sure all of these things that we're talking about today, high alkaline foods. And it has a lot to do with the mucus in the body. People think of just the mucus, but it also happens with the lymphatic system. You want to make sure this is not just a joke of something just to do because it's a fad. This is a lifestyle. You've got to keep your lymphatic system clean. Or when it goes to the point whereby when you know you're feeling bad, those lymphatics are important. They can go behind the ear, it can go under the arms, it can go in certain parts of the leg, underneath the leg, and the back, the hemorrhoids. Lymphatic system, you want to make sure your lymphatic system is cleaned out. And like we said, what do? You're going to continue to get rid of the processed foods, Because you don't have to be overweight in order to have issues with your lymphatic system. You can be a small person and have issues with your lymphatic system. So you want to continue to clean your lymphatic. You want to alkaline. When you get up in the morning, yes, do the lemon and ginger in the morning. Remember, we said the celery and a cucumber or cucumber. Celery, do it with an apple. You're going to juice that, juice it probably. But if you don't have a juicer, use a blender and put all that in there, and then just strain it out for those that don't want the pulp. You can put, make sure your parsley and cilantro. I can't get over to tell you enough. Parsley and cilantro will get rid of the heavy metals in the body, because a lot of that from the deodorant are heavy metals in the body, and it gets in the bloodstream and it has to get out some kind of way. So you want to do your parsley, do your cilantro, do your cucumber, do your celery. Those are things that fight for you, and it's going to clean your lymphatic system out. When you get kiwi, I used to give them to our son all the time. Get kiwi whenever they would come into season for kiwi. I would have him, and he would eat the kiwi for those children that have issues with going to the bathroom. And even this is good for the lymphatic system. It's good for the alkaline. Kiwi, you can eat that, and it helps you go to the bathroom. Plus it cleanses the lymphatic system. Plus it's an alkaline. Those are just some few things that help. But we're going to put some more things that can help you in the post. So look for that. Next question.
Let me scroll back up.
Okay.
I think it was, I lost my place. Okay, there she is. Okay, I think it's Anna Ba Israel. She said, Shalom, my beautiful Hebrew family. She said, how much aloe is too much?
How much aloe? You can do aloe. You can use it as a cleanser. In our home, a while back, aloe vera is being used. You could take an aloe and you can cut. The big look like a cactus. We get it sometimes, a lot of times, more often. And the aloe vera, and the aloe vera actually is spoken of in the Bible. Right? Aloe is spoken of in the Bible because there are different kinds. But anyway, you can peel it, and when you peel just the top part, you can take that little slimy part and you can eat it. Depending, you can cleanse it. You can cleanse with your body with it. You can cleanse your all of this, your lymphatic system up in here with it, because when you swallow, all of those enzymes go up in here and it goes in. You can do it as much, you can do it twice a week, 3 times a week. I want to do it every day, but only as needed until you get to the desired results where you need every day before you can do it. And then once you get the desired results, then you can stop by then and just do it once a week or twice a week to that point. But until you get your desired results, you can do the aloe vera every day. Until you get to where your system is alkaline, because remember, the aloe vera is an alkaline. And it would do a lot of things to the body. You'd be surprised at what aloe vera. We ate cactus the other day, which is another form of aloe vera, aloe. We ate cactus. You said, you eat cactus? Yeah. But full of a lot of enzyme nutrients. And we just steamed it, opened it, sliced it in half. The flat cactus. And we just sliced it in half and got rid of all the other prickly parts. And it is so packed with nutrients, family. And you could juice it. There was a Hebrew brother in the where I went to get it from the store, and he was like, I was asking him, Mr. says he can't take me to the store without me talking to people. But he said, so I was asking, I said, what are you doing with this aloe vera? What do you know about aloe vera? Little Hebrew baby. And Mr. said, he's taller than you are, and he's bigger than you are, and you call him your baby. Everybody's a baby when you get past a certain age. But he said he put his in the blender. He cuts gets rid of the sticky parts, the prickly parts, and he puts it in his blender, and he juices it, and he has it and mix it with parsley. I said, great job. And he puts it with parsley, and he mixes it in with his other little, different other little things, and he does it in the mornings. Along with, we do it from time to time. From time to time we do that, and then I try to hide it and add a little moringa, and don't tell nobody. So my household put a little moringa in, and it boosts the immune system. It's good for older people, make them feel like they're young. But you could do that. Don't tell somebody. And it's just wonderful for the body. So you can do that. So my answer to that is aloe vera is really good until you get to that desired result, and then do it once a week or whenever you think of it. Yes, next question.
All right. Family member in the chat room, Adasa. She has a question also. She asks, I have various food intolerances. I'm wondering, what can I do about them so food will no longer be my enemy? I also have a leaky gut.
A leaky gut?
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is what we want to do. You have a tolerance for smooth foods, meaning, what is that? How do they put it?
She said, I have various food intolerances.
Intolerance.
So it sounds like it's a lot of food that she can't stand that she can't tolerate.
Right.
I'm wondering, what can I do about them so food will no longer be my enemy? I also have a leaky gut.
Leaky gut. Okay, remember what we started off saying, love, where we want to make sure that alkaline helps the leaky guts. And look on the post. I'm going to add a lot of things that we're going to talk about. And one of the things that we want to add to make sure alkaline, and that's good for the leaky guts. Pineapples are good for the leaky guts. Ginger is really, really good for the leaky guts. Just a few of the things. When you're eating, do this where you, we do this all the time. We've gotten so that, well, certain people in the house are doesn't way different. But anyway, so saute your greens. Don't cook them, boil them, or anything like that. Just saute them. What I mean by saute, and add onions and garlic. Things like that are really good for your body because remember, the more greens that you add to your body, the better it is, because your leafy green vegetables are your health, for that type of thing. Because your gut you need those things that heal the gut. You need those things that bring alkalinity to the body. Remember, don't go any further than 7.5. Let me tell you this, the reason. I talked with one of the family members, I call him brother-in-law, but they've been divorced for a long time, hobby ever. And he was saying, well, he got a 7.9 alkaline water. And I thought, well, let me say this, unless you're doing that plus other things with it, then that's good. But you don't want to get so close to an 8.0. You want to stay between a 7, no higher than a 7.5, because you don't want to over alkaline, but and take the place of other foods, nutrients that your body does need. So when saying that, hobby ever, green vegetables. You want to stop the processed foods because they would contribute to your leaky gut. Processed white flour, white sugar, white rice, white potatoes. Let me tell you another thing. Sweet potatoes, you can do the sweet potatoes like what we did the other day. I know they say something to you that make you laugh. But you can do the sweet potatoes.
She misspelled EMA. She had an angry face behind it like, I just misspelled it. I just tell her so she's fine. That's all I'm saying.
Juice. You can start off in the morning and with the leaky gut. Do the moringa. Get some moringa. Smoothies. Make your smoothies. These are the times where you have your smoothies this time of the year, where you want to keep cool and right on down the line. Peppermint is something, with spearmints, we talked about the peppermint and spearmint with the lemon and the lime. Those are good. When you get up in the morning, don't forget your warm or hot tea after you do your other juices in the morning. Remember, turmeric is another thing that's really wonderful for the gut. Turmeric, but remember, if you're going to do your turmeric, do it in your tea. But during your day, add a little turmeric to your food. Let me tell you, black seed oil is wonderful for the leaky gut. You want to make sure the black seed oil, turmeric, your ginger. These are something that I know that you can get your hands on readily. Make sure garlic and ginger are some of those wonderful things you can normally have. They're wonderful for the body, and that's why we want to make sure you do that. When you can do burdock tea and little cinnamon tea, you said, oh, EMA, aren't those acid? No. When it hits the body, when it hits inside the gut, it becomes a healing thing for the body. You want to do those type of things. And then also I'll be adding some other things. Do your vitamin C. Your B's, your D's. For your leaky gut, you want to make sure you have vitamin D. You want to make sure you have those type of things in your body, fam. And those help with the leaky guts. These things that I'm telling you all not only help with gut, but all over the overall of what your body really needs. So you want to continue, because the healthier the gut, the better the health is for the person. So don't forget, and no, the only soda you're going to put in your body is baking soda. What time we got?
2:39.
Whoo! Okay, remember, the only soda we're going to put in our bodies are, what? Say it with me. Baking soda. That's the only soda. We're going to...
No vest?
Huh?
No vest soda?
No. No vest. No VESS. No. No Coca-Cola.
Baking soda.
Baking soda only. And we're gonna keep that in our cabinet. If you're gonna want any fizz, the only fizz you're gonna have are lemons, limes, parsley, cucumbers. Those are the only fizz we're gonna have in there. Question.
A doctor said, she said, onions. How do you get rid of bad breath afterward? I might taste it and smell it onions the rest of the day.
Guess what? Peppermint, spearmint, lemon, and lime and cloves. And that is one of the wonderful things for you, for your body, for your breath. Even parsley. Remember when I was telling you all before that parsley, they used to put it on your food, and I know as a kid we used to say when we were very little and didn't want to obey, they would kind of put the parsley to the side for the decoration. You thought it was only for decorations. It was for the breath after you finish eating your garlic. Family, there's so many other things that they've done that have dumbed us down to the point whereby you would think, is this food? Like I was telling you before, the baby didn't realize that peppermint is grown. He didn't know spearmint is grown. He thought it came from a laboratory. So these things, watercress, for those people that have digestive issues, leaky guts, right on down the line. These are alkaline. They even help with that. Cherries. Remember we talked about the cherries, and they're good for energy, and also they're good for the inflammation in the gut, in your muscles, in your tissues. Oh, baby, there's so many out there that you can do. But I'm going to let you, I know we have to go right now. So, family, thank you for coming online with me. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for missing me as much as I missed you. I love you, and it's been a pleasingly plumb pleasure to be here for you. You don't know how you do this from my heart. So next time, family, maybe one day in the future, we're going to be recording from home. We will see how that's going to work. If they ever stop jiggling wires, like Brother Jacob said, if they ever stop jiggling my wires and I can get online so I can do it from home, maybe on the outside of the garden, so you can see what the peppermints look like, what the spearmints look like. Let me tell you this too, basil. Now that basil is beginning to grow, it is your friend. Love, love, love your basil. And maybe one time we'll get a chance to show you how wonderful basil is. I make a little paste that makes you want to say yes. But don't forget the greenery is what you need. And basil, family, is also good for leaky guts, believe it or not. Onions, when you saute it and you can smell it, it's really, really, really good for the body. Oh, I started to tell you before I let you go. I, from time to time, I'm not an alcoholic, but I was using a little bit of alcohol to put in my, to make my garlic paste. So it helps preserve the garlic, and I chop it up, and you just need a half a teaspoon for this time of the year. I'm going to tell you one of my recipes as we leave. Just grind up your garlic is like, or use a garlic press, and put about a handful, 5 or 6 in a mason jar. And you can use either olive oil or use an alcohol. And you put if you use about 6 or 7 whole cloves, those 6 or 7 in there, it's going to be really strong. And you can take that and put a little alcohol, like vodka. I'm not an alcoholic, family. I love you, but I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink it. I use it for medicinal reasons. And I could hear somebody say, yeah, Ava, for medicinal reasons. Right. This is all it's because it's the highest alcohol base. I was telling you. Shout outs to my baby in Toledo, Ohio. My spirit truth. But I was telling her, I said, I found Everclear. And I know once I say that, I hope they don't go into higher prices now. But I use the grain, and it's 95%. No alcoholics. Please don't use it, because it's gonna tear down your immune system, family. It's gonna tear down your immune system if you use a lot. So you won't be able to fight very well with this during this time of the season for the virus. Now, all of these things we're talking about boost the fights against viruses. The healthier your gut is, the better you're able to fight. The healthier your immune system is, the more and the better it is to fight this virus and what's going on. Don't forget your tea tree oil and your eucalyptus on a cotton ball. Don't forget you can use that on your cotton ball when you go out and you put your face mask on or whatever on this particular time. Helps keep that airways clear with your respiratory. But I was using that as a garlic, so every so often, and it lasts 6 years, 10 years, if you do it this way. A little bit, and then you mix in, shake it up with MSM. You have to add MSM with it. And put about, if you buy it in capsules, open the capsules, put about four of those capsules of the MSM, and shake it really well, and you set it up. You have to wait for 24 hours before it's set, and take a half a teaspoon, and it'll boost your immune system because of the garlic. And I know I can hear my baby now saying, Eva, onion, what about garlic? That's even worse. My breath is going to be hard.
You sure, right?
Don't worry, baby. Just a half a teaspoon, but no more than a half a teaspoon, because your body, you don't want to throw it into immediate. So you don't want to overdo it, but you want to do it just right. And just every morning, just take a half a teaspoon, or not even a half a teaspoon, and swallow it down and chase it with distilled water. And that keeps the immune system boosted. And it keeps all this eyes, ears, nose, throat all clear. And I was telling my baby that in the mornings when you get up, for those who are having issues, there was a question that posed to me. In the mornings, they said when they get up, they have a mucus in the eyes, or they have a little stuff in the eyes. Just take a little distilled water, and you always use distilled water because it's the purest water that you can find right now at this particular time. So use distilled water and put a little bit of Himalayan salt in, or sea salt in it, enough so it's, because you know, we talked about this before, that your eyes are salty. And it's the salt and it's the cleanser, because you're adding the extra minerals that your body needs. Plus, remember, salt is a cleanser. I was telling my daughter Molly, texting her, shout outs to Texas, that you can use, when you're cleansing your hands, you can take distilled water and like a teaspoon or a tablespoon, depending if you use a 4-ounce glass, if you use a 4-ounce cup, this much, or you can use this much of water, however your spray bottles here, or you can use the whole thing and just put a tablespoon. If you use this much, you can use a tablespoon. Shake it up really good, because bacteria cannot stay with salt. That's why they say salt is a natural cleanser. It's a natural cleanser. And so you can do that if you don't have any disinfectant. If you don't have any hand disinfectant, you can use up to a tablespoon if you use this, or 2 tablespoons if you use this much water. Shake it up really good, and when you go out, use your spray bottle, rinse your hands off with it. So when you go out, you can go in and touch. If you don't have your gloves, you can use that and cleanse your hands. And when you come out, cleanse your hands. Now remember, when you get home, you're going to wash your hands. But when you wash your hands, or even take a lime or a lemon with you. And the lemon and the lime acts as a disinfectant. So push some of that juice on your hands and or add some salt to it. And therefore, whatever you touch, it'll cleanse your hands, and it won't come back, and then you can wash your hands when you get home. And or use your spray bottle and shake it up really well, and you're cleansing whatever with it. So when you go out, these nasty people, it's time for another story. I've seen some things. We won't go into all that right now, but some of the things I've seen people do. When you're washing your fruit, remember, family, regardless of the salad, and I said I was something last, but I have some questions came up. When you're eating your salads, make sure you wash your salads and your lettuce very good. You're going to soak them. Listen to this. Take a little bit of salt and make sure it has that iodine salt in it, and you're going to use a little bit of vinegar and or use a little lemon or lime in it, and you wash it really good and let it sit. It's going to look like it's wilted, but don't let it sit any more than 15 minutes, and squish it really good. This is the time to have a salad spinner. A salad spinner, so you can wash it. When you wash it really good, sometimes it's going to look, or whatever fruit you have, it's going to look like it's wilted, but it's not going to be wilted. But when you rinse it again, it's going to perk up, but you rinse it in and rinse it really well. When you get your cucumbers, like we were saying, in your lettuce, you make sure you wash them with a little bit of baking soda, because remember, the baking soda is a neutralizer, it's an alkaline, it cleanses, along with your salt, your vinegar. Those are natural cleansers. So when you go to eat these different fruit and vegetables, I know we're cautious in what we're eating today because of all the things that's going on these fresh fruit and vegetables. You want to wash them off. I've seen somebody put some, enough. But anyway, spit, put in their hands and then rub it. How nasty is that? That's why I said Psalms 91 over you and everything that you eat, family. But anyway, what you do, and you can kill those bacteria with that. You can use your salt. That's why I was saying, make sure you have salt in the house. Make sure it has the iodine salt, because you need iodine during this time. You need your iodine in it during this time. And make sure, because the iodine will boost your immune system, plus it gets rid of toxins out of the heavy metals right on down the line. It boosts your immune system, and right on down the line. We'll do another story about iodine coming up real soon. But you want to do that. And then you always wash before your babies or your young children eat your fruits and vegetables. Make sure you soak them at least no less than 15 minutes in that, and then wash them off, rinse them off really well. And during this time, I know a lot of people say eat cucumbers, organic cucumbers. I don't trust the people. This is my preference. And so I always peel my cucumbers. And I wash them, and then I peel them, and I let it set. Remember, no more than 15 minutes with your different fruits and vegetables, and watch that, get all that bacteria and stuff like that off. And therefore, it's cleaner. Don't use alcohol to do that for your fruits and vegetables, but use your remember, salt, baking soda. You can use apple cider. You can use your white vinegar, because white vinegar is a natural cleanser. Remember, we talked before how you can take a little bit of white vinegar, and you can make sure every 3 days, spritz your pillows. You wash your sheets every week, once a week, every 7 days, but also spritz your pillows. You can use tea tree oil and put some apple cider vinegar in there and shake it really well. And even if you have eucalyptus, put a couple drops of eucalyptus and you shake it in really well, and you spritz Don't heavy spray, but just mist your pillows so that it kills the bacteria and all of that on your pillowcases and all the way around. So you're not putting your head back into the same bacteria or whatever you've had during the day. Remember, you got to clean your sinuses. Remember, the eye, cleanse your eyes. I was going to tell you to use it. You have if you have a shot glass, you take that salt water and to taste it, it's salty, and wash, put it over your eyes and go left, right, up, down, all around swivel for about a minute. And then when you take it off and you do it like this, you can see all that crud coming from the eyes because that goes to the eyes as well. So it's not just your respiratory. You remember, eyes, ears, nose, and throat are all together. So you're cleansing your eyes. You're cleansing you want to make sure your throat, what you inhale. So you can do that, fam. So keep an eye open for those type of things. You can cleanse your eyes to keep the mucus build up from for the children, and even yourself. I do it every morning. Do that, and I love you too much. This is your EMA Barb, and I know I have a lot of information, but go back again and listen and take notes. Go back and listen and take notes to what I'm saying to you, and you can just do that from that. Your email thinks you are simply fantabulous. I praise you, Yah. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Tune in next week. I pray the Father will, that we'll be here for you as we talk next week about some other things that brings healing, health, and wholeness to you. I pray the Most High continue to bless you and bless your household. May His mercy encamp around about you as you seek His face and you do the top 10. I love you. This is your EMA Bar saying blessings, Psalms 91, the Most High willing, blessings over us.